Hi everyone, welcome to Zen Studios. Today we're going to do the next 4 stages of the Eleanor Mustang from FanHome. And contrary to what the magazine says, we are not doing pack 20, we are doing pack 23. I got sent the correct parts for the pack, but not the correct magazine. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to use the PDF version of that. I'll show you how to get to that. But we are going to be doing pack 23, not pack 20. There's not a lot to do in this pack. So I'm first of all going to be doing this backwards. So I'm going to do the end of the pack first and then do the first part of the pack last, and I'll explain more about that as we get into it. But let's go ahead and let's show you exactly how you can get going if you get an incorrect magazine, as I did today. Alrighty, I'm going to do a screen share. So if you're a FanHome customer, this is what your dashboard should look like, and you have all of your builds that you have going for them up at the top. As you can see, I have the Enterprise, the Ghostbusters, the Eleanor, the Knight Rider, and the Batmobile over here. Click over to our Eleanor Mustang. And on the assembly guide, we're going to view it. You can either view it in this configuration, or you can download it as a PDF. And it decides to come up. And so as you can see, we have pack 23. I'll show you the magazine using this. As you can see, this is the first stage of the pack, but this is actually what we're going to do last. We're going to do the PCB and then this washer fluid bottle. We're going to be doing that last. So connecting all the wires up, and I'll talk you through exactly how we're going to do this. But what we're going to do first is we have the left front wing, this chassis connector, but not bodywork connector, and then the right front wing. So the last 3 stages of this pack are basically putting 4 screws in and putting these 2 wings together, which is going to look absolutely fantastic. But it's not going to take a lot of time to do. So this is what we should have at the end. Looks pretty good. Eleanor returns to the screen. A little bit about Toby Halicki, who made the original Gone in 60 Seconds film. And stuff about the wardrobe. We continue to go down. Kimberly, that's a car with women's name. 1999 Lincoln Navigator. And then Ferrari F355 F1. And the Mustangs, this is the 2005 Ford Mustang GT. And in the next pack, as you can see, we get the main bodywork, the scoops, we're going to attach the hood, and we have some other details going on. So that's the magazine, and once again, if you're sent an incorrect magazine and you're doing a build-up model with FanHome, you can access your instructions. I have asked them, if I go back to the main camera, I have asked them to send me the correct magazine because, even going back to the previous publisher, I am collecting the magazines. As you can see, I do have them all in the binder, and I don't need an extra issue 20. So that just gives you a little introduction and lets you know exactly how you can access your instructions. Alright, for us today, we're going to be starting with issue 88, stage 88. This actually showed up like this, but I have checked the wing. This off the desk. And here's that front wing. Looking absolutely beautiful. The color on this car is absolutely striking. That's the bulk of the reason why it's my favorite Mustang. Either this one or John Wick's Boss Mustang. So we'll go ahead and we'll put that to one side for the moment. And we have stage 89. As you can see, we have this connecting panel. And we do have the screws in it as well. So we'll go ahead and grab a towel. Don't worry, all this paint is dry. There's my hobby knife. And here is that connecting plate. This is metal as well. Looking really, really fantastic. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up these DSO2 screws. Load up my screwdriver. It's going to go in kind of like that. Put one in just a little bit. I'll get those in. And when you're finished, it should look like that. With the wing and the connector nice and tight. So now we're going to bring over stage 90. And once again, this is how it showed up. It wasn't even on the backing card. But as you can see, flawless beauty as well. Few more DSO2 screws. Get them open. And I'll get those in, show you what that looks like. Alright, and there we go. Couple of nice big chunks of metal. We can see our bodywork starting to come together. Now what I have to do, since we're going back in time to stage 87, I have to get the chassis and the floor pan down and get this off the workstation. Right here we have stage 87, so we're back at the start of this pack. As you can see, we have that PCB board, we have that water bottle, screws, and all of these electric cables. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put all these together. We'll be extra careful opening this up so we don't cut through any wires. Because Lord knows I do enough soldering on other things that are mistakes that I make. Alright, there we are. All of that is open. So we have our PCB right here. And if you can see, they're all numbered. 1, 2, 9, 10, 7, 8, SPK. So we have all of these. And we're basically just going to match up the numbers. So just grab any wire. So we got number 1. Make sure you got the pins around the right way, which I do. Number 1 is in. So I'll go ahead and I'll get the rest of these in. Let's show you. Alright, and when you're finished, the control boards look like this. Just like that. So now usually what we would do is we would take these PS17 screws and we would attach this to the car. I'm not going to do that yet because we have some more work to do, and we also have this water bottle which we'll put in later. But what we're going to do for now is we're going to upgrade. Alright, we have our PCB here with wires coming out all over the place except for this one here, which is the speaker, which that one is still attached to the car. Ordinarily, if you're going to follow the instructions, you will go ahead and you would mount this to the car, but I'm not going to do that yet. We're going to install the remote control 2-in-1 USB-C power mod from Mike Lane Mods for this car. As you can see, the 1967 Eleanor Ford Mustang. There's a QR code on the back that gets you to the instructions that you can look up, or you can go to Mike Lane's website, which his web address is right down here for you. If you don't know who Mike Lane is, Mike, he and his team have so many of his upgrades that are in my models, going back to the DeLorean, Ecto-1, Knight Rider. If there's an upgrade in one of my Partwork build-up models, Mike Lane probably is the one that did it. So I'm going to go ahead and put his logo up there in the corner. And we're going to get started on this USB-C remote control. So you open the box. There's a braided USB-C cable. This is about 2 meters. It should be long enough to get you whatever length you need. There's some cables, some Y splitters, and the USB-C extension lead. We have the control board, the remote control, and a double-sided sticky foam tab. So when you get one of the boxes of the power mods, it doesn't matter which one, he has several from his range. This is about what you should find in there. So this is what we got. It doesn't look like much, but trust me, this is going to be an awesome upgrade for this car. I think that remote capability and power mods are one of the coolest things that you can do when you're doing a part work. And I am absolutely of the belief that they're pretty essential upgrades to allow you to enjoy the model that you spent so much time and money putting together on when it's finished. This mod makes the Ford GT40 the only model in my Partwork collection that is not going to be power modded or remotely operated. I do think Mike Lane might be coming up with a solution kind of like this for the GT40, but I'm not going to take mine apart to do that. So we'll go ahead and we'll get some of these things out and we'll put this together and see what we got. Alrighty, I'm going to put a towel down because I'm ultra paranoid about shorting out a circuit board. Just full disclosure, I did buy this mod for myself. There's no paid promotion on the part of Mike. He didn't send this to me or anything. I paid for it because I wanted it, and it's worth every penny. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get this control board out of this bag. And that's what that control board looks like. This little control board is going to make a whole lot of magic for our model. So let's go ahead and get started. The other thing we're going to need is we're going to need to unwrap this USB-C. So we'll do that and get that connected to a power source. Alright, that's connected to power now. So we'll go ahead and we'll plug this into this port. And this blue light is going to illuminate for about 10 seconds and then it will go out. There it goes. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to program the remote control. So here's the remote control. You have a power button, aux button, and 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the buttons. And you also have a mount if you want to mount this to a wall or something else, which is a pretty cool idea. And Mike does also include a battery. So this is all loaded up and ready to go. So to program the remote, we're going to press this white button. See if I can show it to you. This white button in the middle. The button's going to flash. And we're gonna bind the remote control in this sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, power, and aux. And it flashes multiple times. These two are now paired together. If you do make a mistake and say you did 1, 2, 4, 3, all you have to do is press this button again. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, power, aux. And there we go. And that's reset. So if you do make a mistake, don't worry about it. There's an option to redo it for you. So this is all set. This is all set for now. We're going to put that to one side. And we're going to take this control board and we're going to take a bunch of these cables out of the control board. So it's going to be, let me find it. Cables 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So 7 is the battery. This is the only one that we're not going to be reusing. And 3. 4. So if you're looking at the board, these 4 cables should be the only ones that are still in the circuit board as you're installing this mod. In this bag, we have the USB-C extension lead. We're going to use that here in a minute. And we have some Y splitters, which have a female end and 2 male ends. One of the male ends is a little bit larger than the other. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the larger end and grab one of these cables, which this one is number 3. Make sure your pins are the right way around so you don't bend any pins. So that one's connected. This is the second one. And what this should do, and this is 4, is it should allow us to use the existing buttons on the dashboard of the car if we wanted to. So we have number 5. The last one is going to be number 6. Those are all loaded out. This one is the only one that's not a Y splitter. This is going to be our power. So we'll set these to one side, and I'll bring this circuit board back over again. And we're going to put these back in. So number 3. This one's number 6. All right, just like that. And I will go ahead and I will get the rest of these in. Okay, now they're all in, with the exception of number 7, which is the battery. And then the speaker is still vacant. But all of these have the Y splitters going to them, other than these ones that we didn't take out, which are going to the lights. Now, the smaller end of these Y splitter cables are going to be going into Mike Lane's remote control board. So the first one we need is number 3, which is this one right here. And number 3 is going into port 1, which is this one up here at the top. Again, make sure the pins are the right way around so you don't bend any of the pins. Number 5, which is this one, is going into number 2. Four is going into number 3. So 4 is this one. It gets a little confusing, but Mike's instructions on his website are really, really clear about which one goes where. And number 6, which this should be number 6, yep. Number 6 goes into number 4. We don't have the battery box cable in there. Okay, I misspoke earlier when saying that the battery box cable wasn't going to be needed anymore. We are still going to need that. So we have this power lead. And this is cable 7, which was the battery box cable. The extension lead from the circuit board. And then this end is going to go into the power, which is this one up at the top. Just like that. Alright. The auxiliary is for it's an extra port. So Mike has some other modifications in the works for this car that will plug into that. And if you have anything that you are doing that's custom, you can plug it into that, and it gives off plenty of power to be able to run anything that you might want to run into it. Say you had some interior lights or something going on. I don't have any extra electrical mods going into this car, so I'm going to leave that one vacant. So what we need to do now that this has all been wired up the way it needs to be, I need to bring the car over. Okay, we're on a brand new day for this. The circuit board has been mounted where it's supposed to go, next to this left side engine surround. All of the wires, as you can see, are routed through this clip and through this clip. And I have mounted Mike's board right here. See if I can get that to focus. There it is. So his board is in the void right here, and it's just stuck down to the footwell right here, which you can put this wherever you want to, but I determined that this was the best place to put it for me. It's not going to be visible at all when the car is all together. And then the cable is plugged in, and I routed it out through this clip with all of the other wires, and I'm dropping it down next to the wheel arch. You can send this cable down wherever you want to. You can put it down through the engine bay. You could probably squeeze it through behind this bulkhead if you didn't want it to be visible at all. But I decided that just having all of the wires together and dropping this through the wheel arch would be the best solution. And I'll show you later that isn't going to impede anything. So what we need to do now, so we need to take our USB-C cable, plug it into the extension lead here, and as you can see, the blue light comes on, and then it'll go out. There we go. And now this should be available to test. So here's the remote control. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the front headlights and I'm going to plug them into 9, because those will be where the brake lights get plugged into, so I can show you that. So this side's a 9, and this side is 10. Alright. Put this to the side. Try and get this on camera for you. There we go. Should be able to see everything with that. So on the remote, we're going to hit the power button, which illuminates the lights. There we go. And in order for any of the sounds to work with the remote, the lights have to be on. So number 1. Number 2. Number 3 should be the brake lights, so you should see the headlights get brighter. There we go. And those go back to their regular illumination on their own. So that's number 3. And number 4 is the action sequence. Pretty cool, huh? And then, as you can see at the end of the action sequence, the headlights go out. And I'll just show you that these functions don't operate without the lights being illuminated. So I'll turn them back on. There we go. And turn them back off. Alright, so that's the functionality. Incidentally, the horn and the accelerator do still work with the buttons. The brake lights will, but on mine I pulled, I can't show you anymore because they're stuck in here now, but I managed to pull the wire out of the JST connector that went to the main board that was part of that switch. So in my particular vehicle, I'm not going to have that functionality of the brake lights working with the pedal, but I'll go ahead and I will be using the remote control in any case, and that completes the installation of Mike Lane's 2-in-1 remote control and power mod for the Eleanor Mustang. I am still working on the power mod for the Ecto 1, and I'll get that out to you as soon as I have that all finished and ready. I'm waiting on some stuff for that. Once again, I will put Mike Lane's web address down at the bottom, down here. If check out everything that Mike has to offer. If you're doing the DeLorean that's available right now, if you're in the middle of the Eleanor, the Ecto 1, Knight Rider, any kind of that stuff, he is your go-to person for anything that you need on this, and he's the nicest person in the world as well, and I can't recommend Mike enough. So I hope you enjoyed that video about Pack 23. Actually, we'll finish this off before I forget. Get this out of the way. And this is what we did earlier on in the pack. So we can put this down. disconnect this. And put this down, just like that. And as you can see, get Mike's web address out of the way. This lead is coming out just fine using the wheel arch. So that's where I have that. If we put the hood on top, and that is the completion of Pack 23. Build the Gone in 60 Seconds Eleanor Mustang from FanHome. And we are also including Mike's power mod in this video as well. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll be back with another build here soon. Enjoy, find some zen, get to the workbench, build some stuff, do some creative stuff, because that's what we're all about around here. Take care.